All right, and in the next story we got man.
Texas. I kind of feel sorry for the police officers in Texas, but it started out with a pool party. We've been seeing, and just went viral. This pool party where teenagers were invited to this party, and things got out of hand. And the piece of video we see an officer coming in like commando, rolling through the grass and everything, grabbing teenagers, putting them in handcuffs. And the worst part was subduing a 14-year-old girl in a bikini with his knee in her back and holding her face down into the grass. Now, I'm not even going to lie to you people. That just made me sick to my stomach. Like, I literally gagged as I watched this video.
Well, let's see if we can watch some of the video. You want to watch some of the video before we get into it?
Well, you can play some. I'll watch as much as I can.
Okay, let's see if we can get into it. I'm just saying, you know, you never know. Oh, shoot. Look at that food. It look like RoboCop.
Yes, a flashlight.
I got a flashlight, my nigga.
Oh shit! Oh shit, bro! This nigga fell.
Do you see him?
Hey, let me go give it to him.
No, I wanna give it to him.
No. Hey, let me give it to him.
I want to give it to him.
Hey, it was his. She got like a blackout. No, it wasn't his. It wasn't his.
Oh, he needs here.
It was his.
I'm just saying, don't take off running when the cops get here. What's up, man? Oh, thank you.
It was
some
that,
guys.
One of
these.
Okay, guys, I appreciate it.
None of them were involved.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They're
It was
good to
this
go.
guys. It was that guys.
Whoa, sir.
Get on the ground.
Hold up, sir.
I told you to stay. Get your asses down on the ground.
Short motherfucker.
On the ground.
Yeah, but we're hoopers.
Get your ass out of here.
I didn't do it.
Change back.
I didn't even do anything. I wasn't even in here.
Yo,
I wasn't even in.
there go the girl who ended up getting
We just got here, man. Hey, Cox,
slammed to the ground.
what the heck? Sir, we just got here. Sir, we just came for a birthday party, please.
We'll figure it out now in a minute.
Please, sir.
I don't care. Sit down. Sit down.
Yo, Richard, what color was it?
It's navy blue.
I know where it is.
Anyway.
Why did she have to be on her face?
Hold up. Huh? Anyway, I was going to try to get to that video part where she was on the ground. Why is he slamming a teenager, a woman, even if she wasn't a teenager? What got me, like I said, I was watching this also with my coworker, and he's a good guy, but he has the typical American way is in when something traumatic happens or something that serious, they try to rationalize and justify stuff or whatever, right? And so he was sitting there going, and even I had my girl tell me, you know, she tells her daughter, well, just don't say nothing. That has nothing to do with all this.
No,
this
really
man, did you see how short he was? I mean, I'm not to get into that.
He got a short man complex.
That's what everybody's saying, man. Why are you running around with no backup? That tell you right there he was trying to be what they call him, hero cop.
Well, you know,
he was a hero cop in that shit.
It was that was stupid. That was stupid. It was disgusting that he felt like somebody, a child who is already on the ground, who obviously
calling for her mama, man.
Calling for her mother. She's
calling for her mama.
Well,
I'm just getting dramatic.
I know, but here she go. It's not like she concealing.
Mama.
She can't be concealing nothing. She got on a bikini.
Hello.
What threat is she to do? What's she gonna do? Pull a razor from under her tongue? Well, she ain't running around with that because she cut her own self.
Now I know some of my.
I know some.
Nothing
folks
against
who would do
white
that,
people, but you know, my coworker said he preferred it mine. He said maybe he was trying to get a feel.
He act like
But
it,
no reason to.
But you know what? Not like that.
Look at that fool. But here it is right now. He got his knee in her back.
His full body weight on a 14-year-old child.
And look how he grabbing her right there. Look at that shit.
And she's already on the ground.
She on the ground in a bikini.
And he twisted her arm behind her back to force her face into the dirt.
What, he think she had a gun or something?
It was.
Oh, then we could have got to the video part where he pulled his gun out on the other people who just coming to say, we'll call your mama.
Yeah.
And Hanny. Oh,
and people are saying, oh, well, they were approaching him. He was protecting his gun. They wasn't anywhere near him. I saw some things saying, oh, they assumed the stance of somebody who had a gun. They were kids in swim trunks. How many people's swim trunks get pockets?
That's what I mean by what white people try to do. They try to justify or rationalize any behavior towards a black person because they can't really deal. They don't have the strength to really deal with true racism. That's why they'll try to well, let's talk about black crime. No, they don't want to talk about real racism. And I'm not saying this cop is race. He did this because of racism.
Right.
He did this because, like most people, have been conditioned to fear black people. Okay. Look at it. He didn't want black people saying, well, she shouldn't have said nothing. She should. Folks, white people talk back to the cops all the fucking time. I know my rights. I've gone, what's your badge number? What is your badge? All the fucking time and don't go through this shit, man. See, they have been getting away with a lot of shit. Imagine this. Look how much shit get caught on the video. And I try to tell my coworker, double that. What you fucking ain't seeing. Come on.
It's ridiculous that happened. And at the same time, as say a teacher, you know, whenever you have events that, because see, this is where the media went wrong. The media put it out there like, oh, there was a pool party, and because these white people happened to invite some black kids, somebody called the cops, and bam, this happened.
Too many Negroes.
But the people having the pool party, from various sources, are saying that they advertised it as a teenage pool party. They advertised it for it to be a huge event. The clubhouse is only meant to hold 20 people. So you get hundreds of people. You get parents who are dropping their kids off at a random pool party. You don't know who's there. Now, granted, my mama was overprotective like a mug. I am not going to say she
should have
wasn't.
been, but go ahead.
But exactly. Well, just because she knows.
She had reasons.
Not because of me. I was an angel. But the world is not made for angels.
Oh, that's what it is. You ain't lying.
It's not. You don't just randomly drop your child off in some place. You don't know who's throwing the party. You don't know what adults are there. If you have 300 kids in a cafeteria lunchroom, you don't just turn them loose in there. You got teachers positioned in different places to watch for things escalating. Right?
Right.
So when the cops are called because you have hundreds of kids at a pool where somebody is fighting because, granted, some adult who had nothing to do with the pool party started using racial slurs and slapped somebody else's child, slapped a teenager, and they fought back, which is where the fight started. But people could have got drowned. It's a pool.
Yeah. You know what? That's what happens in America. See, you can't fight a white person. Ask Allen Iverson or Randy Moss. When they was in high school, they went to, you know what they went to prison for when they was in high school and started getting in trouble? For Randy Moss for smoking weed and having fights. Now, if every teenager in high school went to prison for smoking weed and having fights,
there would be no schools. You might as well just hold
only
school
the black
in
man.
jail. Only
the black man. But finish your point. This it's like Boy, good thing we
I
got
just
this
think-
show
I just
because
think it-
you get it off your
You
chest.
can
You feel
get it off
better.
your
I can go
chest.
smile at my coworkers.
and not take it out on them.
Yeah, fools.
So maybe that's
Even
what,
though I do, but
so
go ahead.
maybe that's what the police need. They need a session where they can sit there and get it off their chest. And then, no, honestly, this is a purely research shows that black officers, white officers, everybody tends to view dark complected people as a greater
Black
threat.
people do it too.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So for the media to paint it as,
But
oh, this
you know
white
why they
officer
do
did that? Because they make black crime
media is-
an entertainment type situation. You know, you talked about on another show one day. We were talking about the Duggars, how people enjoy watching it because it seems wholesome, and how so you have a white family that's doing something wholesome, and everybody can relate to it because they can see how it's their family, and nobody draws any attention to, hey, how come we don't have a black family that's being wholesome too?
Oh no, they'll show you one of the rappers who got 20 kids by 18 different women though.
and so that's what
A
you
burden
relate
to society.
and that's entertainment.
Right.
And they even depict, we were just talking about the murderers in New York, and the stories comes us off. It's just so boring. It's not something to be afraid of or anything.
There it is, sister.
But here, you have any type of crime, no matter what the crime was. If a black person was involved, gangs are mentioned. Either they in the gang or they got to tell you that they not in a gang. Why do you have to tell me that somebody who got murdered was not in a gang? Simply they got murdered. It shouldn't have had.
I know you coming from the right perspective, which is the logical perspective, but this ain't, like you said, this ain't
It's
a
not
logical
logical.
situation.
It's emotional.
Yes, and
Did
that's
you-
how people deal with
Now,
it.
did you hear the cops?
You know how many parties cops break up where white kids acting a fool and cops treat white kids bad, and there's video of it, but the media never shows it.
Exactly. But that's my point. It's
Every day,
what
college
should-
kids. You went to college, you know how they party. I party with them.
Angel.
Shoot, I party with them.
But still, my point is, what's the cop supposed to do if they call to a situation where somebody can get drowned?
And you know what?
How are they supposed to contain the situation?
And you know, when he pulled his gun out and them dudes was coming around, I don't agree with it, but I can relate to that.
Right.
So that part of the game, But when he was running around telling people to sit down, shut up, and he wasn't telling none of the white people. Did you see the white people just walking around like?
But only the black kids had to sit down.
America,
And
only
they
the black kids had to have a seat.
And the black kids
That was
sat
like some
down.
400-year-old shit.
And they sat down.
Yes, and then they was begging with the officer. Officer, I'm
Look,
just here.
I
You
live
know,
over here.
please, officer,
Sir,
let me go.
I mean, they
Come on,
were being as
man.
respectful.
These
as they
wasn't
possibly
criminals,
could.
but they was treated like criminals, and that's what never happens. I'm not gonna say never, but we don't get to see it because, you know,
because of what we get shown.
and then
because we didn't even
when
see,
he did that
we
girl
didn't-
like that.
we didn't even see that type of treatment of the bikers.
The bikers got to walk
Also
all nice,
in
and they
Texas.
killed like 20 people.
Also in Texas.
They was standing next to the cops and shit with their
Now-
arms around.
And I'm not saying that the cops did or didn't do what they supposed to do, because some of the people who were, we saw in those pictures weren't involved. But how many of those kids weren't involved?
Yeah, and look here. In that situation, I understand cops can get a little, but this man, the good thing is he resigned. And I like
On his
that.
own.
That made me have a little bit more respect for police officers, because I understand mistakes are going to be made. But fess up to it. Forget cold blue and all that bullshit. You have taken an oath. Okay? You know when you was out of line. And the good thing is this cop know he was out of line. He was out of line. And not that part when he pulled his gun out. Now, it was wrong because whatever, but if he was in fear because some people was coming.
Behind him.
Okay. But to do that girl like that, to be telling them kids to sit down when you letting other white people just keep standing up. Did you see that one white man just walking around with his
Grown
the
man.
big, yeah. I was more scared of him if I'd have been a cop. Like,
Because he could do some damage.
because he
If
was
he
getting
caught
close to the cops.
He was right there with them.
But he's white, and they felt like, okay,
There wasn't that
we'll help
fear
you.
factor.
Come on,
that
man.
fear factor
America's
was out
fucked
there.
up. It's just fucked up. Let's get to the point. I keep saying it. I'm going to say it every fucking week till you understand. You got anything else on this? before we get into this epic debate of how horrible women treat men?
Oh my goodness, almost as bad.
Well, wait, but you don't have nothing else on this? Because I think we went over everything. Because every week it's about the media with us. But it has a different spin every week. Like, even though it's similar, but it's still the same.
See the media spin on his apology, because the officer not only resigned, but he issued an apology, and his lawyer stated that he had made 2 calls previous to that. One was a suicide, and one was an attempted suicide. One,
that he was.
Yeah, he went to a suicide by a pool where a man had killed himself.
Oh, they're humanizing him.
His family.
They're humanizing.
And then he went and helped to successfully talk a girl off her parents' roof who was threatening.
See, now I was feeling for him. Now that just ruined it for me there.
Oh, well, I'm finna further ruin it for you. They actually made the point of stating that the person who actually committed suicide in front of their family was a black person. So maybe he was just, black people are just doing.
You know what? He looked like. This is the saddest part about this man. Now, of all the cops we done ever seen, this is what's so sad about this man. He looked like he really wanted to help them, like down the road, like he was trying to teach them. Like in his mind, he was really trying to teach them a lesson. And maybe I'm taking it wrong, because I remember cops talking to me when I was young, and you could tell the difference. It was like, and you could tell which ones, not that they care, but he was like, but they just don't know how to deal with the situation. And the fact that you said that, it was like, they letting us know he was traumatized and he wanted to save the black community.
He didn't say that. His lawyer said.
That's my point.
And so I have.
They building his case.
This thing, where this should have never happened. It angers me that it happened.
That's
I have nieces. I have nephews.
You was a little perturbed there.
They could go to the mall.
I keep telling you it's coming.
Some just random stuff happened, and I could see my nephew sitting on the sidewalk going, "Sir,
remember we talked about
I dropped my phone. Can I call my mom?" And getting shot because they picked up their cell phone.
Yep.
I could see that happening, so you can't help but get emotional about that.
Well, you can't.
And at the same time,
people.
You can't either, because you get mad too.
Well, let me say this.
But
I got mad for different reasons.
What I hate is the way the media presents it. And the way they do it in such a way that basically they're making the cops impotent. Like
well, that's what people said when he resigned. A lot of people were saying, "Look what happened." The media, they blamed it on the media. It's funny how they blame it on the media. People in the media blaming it on the media, that because of the media, a good cop had to resign. That's what they're painting this picture right now.
Well, they're also
like they can't do their job, like you saying they're impotent, like they can't do their job.
They're also saying that about the Alberto Eber, the principal in Miami, who made a comment on a Facebook post that, "Oh, this guy did his job, and I think he did the right thing," and he got fired for making that post. Well,
the principal got fired?
Yeah, the principal got fired. Well, first of all, anybody who works in education knows to keep your person get your name off Facebook. You don't put your name your school affiliation.
Okay. You don't take kids home.
Yeah,
take them to the park and shit.
Well, you gotta learn these things, but you do figure it out that you don't put your school affiliation on something like that.
Make up some shit.
But
if you got to get it off your chest, huh?
But the thing of it is how can you be involved with overseeing students on a regular basis and think that that's an appropriate response? We've had situations several years ago where kids with extreme behavior disorders, extreme as in threatening other people, chasing them with scissors, etc., the police get called because the teachers can't legally put their hands on it, and the police tased the kid or pepper sprayed the kid, and then that was a problem. But this isn't a problem. This is what they should do.
Man, that is it. It's one of them situations, like you're saying. It's like all this could have been prevented if all people were more media savvy. Because the stereotypes have been going on a long time, and people just they just let it happen.